Steve Domenico in the Room podcast with Lars Borssen and Travis Lizotte talking CES 61 and breaking down what we know about this card and our opinion on things and what implications hold after these fights. So first of all, I'd like to introduce my co-host tonight and my media and business partners, Lars and Travis. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Room Podcast 2.0, Lars, because every other week we are changing things up. So take it away, guys, and say hi to everyone out there.
What's going on? It's been a while since we've been on together, so I was looking forward to this. It's good to see Steve back in his room after a little incident last week, and glad you're all right, man. I'm thinking about you.
I'm doing well, thank you. We'll talk about that later. We'll get more people on, and I'll tell what I can because it is under the detectives have it now, and I can't really talk about certain things. Okay, so Travis, you're in a different room tonight, man. Let's talk about what's going on with you because exciting things going on with Full Contact Writer in the room tonight. So, dude, what's behind you and tell us what's been going on.
I got a little bit of memorabilia on the walls behind me. This is my new man cave, or as I call it, I don't know, the office, the podcast room, the relaxation room, the hoarding room where I keep my collection. It's where I'm going to start doing podcasts from now on. Behind me, I've got some stuff that's a little bit more sentimental to me, so this will be my podcast corner. I got Chris Sarro's fight-worn trunks from his first two BKFC fights behind me, along with his walkout shirt from his last BKFC fight against Victor Jones. Just got some autograph stuff that means a little bit to me. I got an autograph from Chris and Ras up here. Autograph of Kevin Randleman, some guys that like a lot. GSP, Frank Mir behind me. I got the shirt that I got signed by Matt Hughes at Premier FC 30. Some cool things that I've acquired over the years.
And you know what? Hey, I just want to I want to let people know at home that this is like just a corner of the room of Travis has. I mean, he has a museum of memorabilia from New England MMA and World MMA and everything, man. Travis, do we have a name for? I mean, the podcast you are going to be getting going. I'm going to help you out with some material, some cameras. We're gonna get down there. I don't trust the U.S. Postal Service, so I will not ship that stuff to you. I will have to deliver it personally.
Who the hell would?
But actually, I got some things to pick up while I'm in Maine, so I have to go there to see you anyway. So, Travis, any names with this any names with this new podcast, and anything you're thinking about as far as concepts?
I want to do just like a New England, like, I don't know if would be a weekly thing or a bi-monthly thing type deal. Just like reviewing what's going on in New England, some big stories and stuff. I don't know. It's pretty much wide open right now. Haven't really thought of a name. But I mean, we're going to figure that out as we go. Yeah, I mean, a good space to do it in now. So now's the time to get the equipment and get things off, start adding some more content to the site and doing what we love to do.
Excellent. Lars, you were there today. I know you've been, you live close to Travis. How's it looking in there?
Oh, it's awesome, man. I was, first time I walked through, it was like, it took me 20 minutes just to look at everything. It's pretty impressive. The amount of shit this guy has is off the charts. Some would say it's borderline a problem. But it's cool, man. It's really cool.
Excellent. Well, so Lars, you're gonna have to do some more editing work and get Travis a template and a concept for this new podcast. Have you guys talked about anything together, or is this something that you guys are gonna kind of brainstorm and get together soon about?
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of left left it open for now. We're trying to think of a concept that's a little unique and different than kind of what you're doing. We were thinking about basing it around the rankings, but right now with the lack of local events, it's tough for us to kind of keep up on rankings. It just doesn't really make much sense. So, I don't know. Suggestions we take would be cool too. We just want to make it interesting and entertaining, obviously.
Excellent. Well, there is no lack of content that you guys will have. Travis, I mean, you interview fighters and talk about them. You know them as much as anyone in New England. So you're gonna have a lot going on and a lot of content and a lot of things that you're gonna be learning along the lines of podcasting, which is very exciting, man.
I just hope my Wi-Fi holds up.
Well, dude, do you have like, is there like electricity that comes to your house? Like, what? I know you live it. Like, you got a dirt.
Oh yeah.
So you'll be all right. You'll be good, dude.
I got a couple rats on bikes pumping downstairs in the basement.
Excellent.
We got this. We got electricity.
Exactly. You got it going. Got it going. So, guys, why are we here tonight? Oh, first, I'd just like to say that the podcast is set up a little different because I didn't know how to make the screen side by side with Travis and Lars. So we're kind of up and down tonight, but it's going to work. You know why? Because I do have the CES 61 fight card, what we know, so I can put that along the side. So it all works out for a reason. This is going to work out nice, guys. So, guys, we are here to talk about CES 61 and a little of other things that were going on before this card. But, guys, how excited are you about CES coming back next Wednesday? Hello? Somebody?
Oh, I'm really excited. I'll start out with this one. Everyone knows how hyped I get about CES. I covered their shows for a long time. This will still be one of the first shows in the last 4 or 5 years that I've missed. So it's I don't know. This is pretty exciting to me. They've really put on an extensive card from what I'm looking at here. A lot of up and coming talent, some good tests for some of these guys, and I couldn't be happier that we're going to be talking about regional fights again. And it's on a Wednesday. I mean, we get it even sooner than normal, I guess. Next Wednesday, a week out. Pretty happy with how this card's looking. I don't know what you guys got for the card, but I've got what I think of it. It's going to look like right here in front of me, and it looks pretty good.
Awesome. We get a bunch of people tuning in. We got William Jones. William Jones already said he wants to fight Salamita. I mean, we already got some classic fighters coming back who want to get on cards coming. What do you know about CES coming back? Is this a one and done for a little while, or are they looking to do multiple things before the end of the year?
I would imagine that if they're going to open up, that they're going to open up and go with it for a little while. I know Fight Pass usually expects at least a monthly showing from most of their promotions, so I would hope that this is the first of a couple before the end of the year. What do you think, Lars?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to jump through the hoops to get an event off the ground with the commission, you're not just going to do one event. The hardest part is jumping through those initial hoops, and they seem to have done that with the Rhode Island Commission. So it makes no sense to venture away from Rhode Island if this one goes off without a hitch, and it makes complete sense to continue the cards. If they want to be up there with the best regional promotions in the country, this is something they got to do because those quote-unquote minor league promotions are active right now. So they gotta keep up. But who would have thought back on February 29th that Premier FC30 us three sitting at that table, that would have been the last event we were at. That was 7.5 months ago. And it's insane that we haven't had a regional show. It's the longest I've gone by far in the last 10 years without seeing a show live. So it's really pumped to have this card back, and we'd love to have somebody there in person. It's probably going to be tough to pull off, but we'll see. It should be a lot of fun.
Say that again. What was that last part you said, Lars, about someone in person?
But no, we'd love to have one of us covering the event there in person, but with COVID protocols, it makes it difficult. So
Well, let me ask you a question, because that was going to be my next question. Since you are on the commission side, were anyway, and you know a little more about it. As far as media, what do you think is going to be allowed for Fight Pass? I mean, they got to have some media allowed in there, and what are you thinking about that as far as just scenarios?
I don't know if there's going to be any media there. I honestly don't think there will be. The commission's going to dictate that, and from what I've heard, it's supposed to be quote unquote essential employees or essential people. So, do you consider that media essential? I don't know, but it probably will not be attended by any media in person.
All right. That kind of sucks.
I heard some sort of a cap on the number of people that were going to be there.
Yeah, that makes sense, because Rhode Island's different than the tribal commissions and Massachusetts, forget it, and any of them other promotions and stuff going down south and stuff. Rhode Island's just starting, so they're going to be very cautious on who they let in, and it's understandable. But it does suck that no one will be there live to kind of watch it and maybe catch a little video. No, I'm only kidding. So, all right, guys. So let's talk about the card. I got the fight card here. There's a couple of fights that we heard about that aren't on the Tapology portion of the event, but I'm sure they'll throw them on there over the weekend. So let's talk about it, guys. Let's first talk about the main event. You want to talk about that first, since that's I got the poster ready.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Who's first on that? Start talking. I already interviewed Nick Alley, so we know all about what he's talking about. But let's talk about it.
So this is a fight that I think is really interesting. The matchup it's a good matchup. Should be an entertaining scrap. We heard rumblings of this matchup about a month ago, and we kind of held back and we waited, and then we eventually released it. I think it was beginning of September. So we knew this one was coming down the pike. It's a great matchup. Gotti is kind of the guy they're building. He has a ton of potential in terms of star power. Not just because of his skills, but because of the name and the heritage and whatnot. But he's legit. He's 27 years old. He's 5-0. He's only fought under the CES banner. So taking on Nick Alley will be the toughest test of his career. So it'll be a great scrap. Nick's 6-3. I would assume he'd want to probably get this to the mat and try to submit him, but maybe he'll stand and bang. What do you think, Travis?
I think this is a great matchup, and in the same sense that this is going to be Gotti's toughest opponent, this is going to be Nick's toughest opponent in his career. They're both looking to bring the best out of each other, and I think that's going to happen. These guys don't get in boring fights. Nick said on the podcast with Steve earlier that he just has one speed, and it's go. I think that Nick would want to get this to the ground for sure. Gotti does a lot of good work from posturing up from the top position and landing a lot of strikes, but Nick's go-to submission is triangles, arm triangles, things like that. So that puts Gotti right in that position where he could Nick could slip in one of those long limbs. He's really lengthy for the 170-pound division. I don't know. The tough part is Laredo, the guy he just fought, Gotti fought the last fight, went to decision with him. Or
fight before,
did he go to decision?
Fight before.
So anyway, Laredo was a submission guy too, for the most part, and but I just think Gotti's positioning on the ground, if it does go to the ground, leads him to have to do some triangle defense, and that's Nick's go-to submission. So this is really interesting fight. I think it's definitely worthy of the headliner. It's not the big, like, Gotti's their big name. Gotti's the guy that they're bringing up, but you usually see a title fight headline CES events, but this is a fight that just stylistically, to me, warrants a main event for sure.
And here's one thing. I mean, these are two big 170 pounders. I mean, there's no question that Gotti is a huge individual, a strong man. Nick is too. Like you said, Nick's got length, but he's also a solid dude. I mean, he doesn't. You look at him, he looks like he's kind of lean and skinny, but he is a big individual himself and can cover a lot of ground. This is very intriguing, very intriguing because, you know, Nick's got some power too. We haven't seen it as much as we have seen with Gotti, but Nick's never been to the third round, never been to a decision. So it's either kill or be killed for Nick, and it seems like the same way Gotti. We did see Gotti, get that the decision, which was great. We see him fight through adversity. His back was taken in that fight. One thing I believe you did talk about, Gotti's opponent, that past opponent, that he was a submission guy. Nick gets your back. He's a solid dude, man. I don't think you're getting out of that. You know what I mean? Once Nick has you, I mean, it's just not he has you. He's going to soften you up a little bit to get you there. Nick is a very crafty veteran once he gets on your back, and I don't see Gotti getting out. And if he does, that's another level that we see from Gotti that really puts him and gets him a shot to bigger and better things.
That's exactly it, Steve. I think you're right on the money with that one, because if Gotti shows that he can learn from having his back taken in the Laredo fight, and learn to not have put himself in that position again, he's going to need to make sure he doesn't do that again against Ali. That's for sure. So we're seeing him blossom every fight. The first four fights were first round knockouts, but to see him go to a decision and to be able to show his strength everywhere, I don't know. He showed a lot last fight. I think he'll have to show a lot this fight to beat a veteran like Nick for sure. It's going to be a lot about going back to the drawing board in the grappling department, learning from that last fight, and seeing what he can do against another steady grappler with some good hands.
And this is Nick's second appearance for CES. And we know the last appearance, Nick was coming in as the underdog, I would imagine, and the out-of-state, out-of-town guy when he was fighting Gary Boletto. With Gotti coming from New York, Gotti, I still think, is the home guy. Do you correct as far as he's CES guy? Nick, they're bringing in Nick to fight their guy. Is that kind of how you see it? Because I don't think Nick, looking on Tapology, the Gotti's favored heavily. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
And it isn't because the fighters he fought, because Gotti hasn't fought anyone much better than, Nick during Nick's career. So what do you think? Why do you think that is?
I think Nick's going to enjoy being the underdog in this fight. I think Nick will gain a lot from maybe being a little bit overlooked in this fight, with that theory behind it. But I agree wholeheartedly. There's a reason why Junior Gotti and Mr. Birchfield sit at the same table at the end of the night at CES where Gotti's at. He's their guy. There's a promise between the two. You're in the right direction to put him in the big show one day. And CES has been responsible for his career up to this point. They've done a great job. It's going to be a big fight to see what Gotti's going to be all about. This is going to be, if he beats Nick, it's got to be contender series sport. It set them up good if he beats Nick clean and early to set him up for November contender series. But I don't know if it's Nick's going to give him hell. I think he's gonna earn every bit of it. That's just the way Ed Carr's guys go. Nick's gonna be there. Nick's gonna challenge him on the ground. Nick's gonna use his length on the feet, and Nick's gonna show us some things too. But I think he's gonna enjoy being the underdog here. It doesn't bother him. When I reached out to him when I first heard about this fight, he said, "I don't really care about the opponent. They just tell me who I go with, and I show up and fight, and I show up and throw hands." And that's what Nick Alley does. There's no question in my mind that Nick isn't scared to get in there with Gotti. Nick has been in there with Beats. He trains with Beats every day at Team Lincoln. He's ready to go.
Lars, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, to Travis's point, if Gotti beats Nick pretty handily here, good chance you'll see him on the Contender Series in November or December. So there's a lot to lose here for Gotti. With from Nick's perspective, he's 6-3 right now. It's a lot better to be 7-3 than 6-4. And it's got fun factors. So Nick's won his last 3 fights. Granted, the level of competition was take it for what it was. 2 fights ago, he beat Jay Ellis. Jay Ellis is my all-time favorite fighter, and I have to mention him on any podcast I can. But Nick was the 11th guy in a row to beat Jay Ellis, and now Jay has gone on to lose 21 in a row, and he's 0-10 since the beginning of 2019. But Nick's got a little bit of a step up here from Jay Ellis to John Gotti. But he's definitely the underdog, but he's got a chance to win. If he can drag this fight to the mat, he's got a real good chance at submitting him. Gotti keeps it standing. We'll see how much Nick's hands have developed over the past couple of years. I think we'll get a very good showing within the first 2.5 minutes of the fight in the striking battle where Nick stands compared to John Gotti on the feet. And that will be telling. Then can Nick get the fight to the mat?
Nick wins this fight. I mean, we talked about you said it looks better as 7-3 than 6-4. What can this do for Nick's career? I mean, he'll be 7-3. He just beat, depending how he beats Gotti too, probably has a lot to do with it. What do you think this does for his career? Say he finishes Gotti.
That for Nick, it's the biggest win of his career by far, and it kind of stakes a flag on the ground, and you'll probably see him back at CES, working his way up. This is a massive fight for him. Nick's 29 years old, so you want to start getting looks from those bigger organizations by the time you're turning 30. So he's right there. He's going to capitalize here in the next 6 to 12 months if he can stay active.
Hey, guys, I just want to say shout-outs. Like, people are tuning in. Terrence, Jean-Jacques, just got a fight with Bellator. We'll talk about a few of these guys at the end of the show. Who else we got here? Blaine Shot. he just gave us up. So he's looking to get a fight going. We thought he was maybe be on the CES card, but there's things in the back that don't let things happen sometimes. So, guys, I just want to give them guys shout outs. Mike Shorey, a lot of Nick friends on here. William Jones, of course. But all right, guys, let's get to the card. Let's actually, I don't want to break down every fight, but let's just talk about some of these important fights and some of these big matchups. We got Mitch Raposo making his first trip to CES.
Yeah, this is an exciting fight. Mitch is definitely coming to CES with all the prospect stardom behind him. He's 5-0 now, looking to go 6-0. Against Matt Almy, guy who submitted Richie Santiago, ended his unbeaten career at the time. This is an awesome fight because Mitch is a grappler, likes to do his work from the top heavy wrestler, and Matt Almy, again, somebody who can do some submission work from his back. And he showed that against Richie. This is a pretty cool stylistic matchup. A good test for Raposo to show if he's ready for the next level Contender Series. Again, this is what CES does. They produce careers that end up in the Contender Series or in the UFC. And Mitch is on the way. They're fighting up a weight. I've heard 130 or 135. 35. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 135. 1
I'm sorry, Charles. I heard it was 130
So
at catch weight.
yeah. So Mitch wants to be at the flyweight level, I think, going forward. But this fight kind of came together a little bit late. Leaves a little leeway. You'll see that again on the card. Alexandra Ballou, she's normally a flyweight. She's going to be fighting at bantamweight. Just some of these cards coming together last minute probably didn't allow for quite the weight cut that some of these fights normally would get. But a lot of them get active again, which is great.
Lars, what's your thoughts on a couple of these matchups? I mean,
Yeah, for for CES to throw a card together of this quality in such a short period of time says a lot about kind of what they're doing and the relationships they have with the commission, and obviously Fight Pass being a must right now. If you're a regional promotion, you really can't put on shows unless you're streaming on Fight Pass. So they have, maybe they love to have people in the stands, but right now they want to get these guys active. Are they going to break even because of Fight Pass? Maybe. I don't know. They're probably not making money. But just keeping these guys active because, it's pretty dire out there when it comes to regional MMA, and these guys want to get active, and they just can't. There was an article that Mark Raimondi wrote, just came out yesterday or today, about the impact of the lack of regional shows and what it's going to have as the trickle down when it comes to the UFC and Bellator. And Dana White's concerned about that. Last year, between March 2019 through September, there was 5,500 fights in the U.S. That same time period this year, there's been 550. So it's 850. So we're talking a tenth or 12% of what they normally have. These guys need to fight and they got to get active. But you also want to do it at the right weight, and you don't have to take a killer matchup that's you don't need at the time. So patience is key right now, but these guys are they want to get out there and they want to be active, and I completely understand. It's just in this situation right now.
excellent. There's a lot of fighters in New England that were left out from this card, of course. That I would imagine we're dying to get on. We got Bellator that's been taking up a few events here again to the end of the year. So there's hope for a bunch of fighters, and with CES coming out with this card and just implications of other cards to follow, man, things are looking up, at least that way. Guys, there's a couple of I thought I saw Fabio Charant was signed for this fight. Did you see that too?
Yeah, I see that Fabio Charant will be fighting Premier FC middleweight champion UG. UG's 3-0. He's from New York, New York. Most people know him. He's fought regionally here plenty. And he knocked out Pat Casey in the first round at Premier FC 30 to win the middleweight belt. And now he's fighting Fabio Charant on UFC Fight Pass at 205, which is quite an ask of you. You's a really physical dude, usually pretty cut at 185 pounds. Moving up to get to fight Charant, who's a beast. We know him physically super strong and is big for the 205 division. So this could be a tough ask of UG, but it's a good opportunity to get on Fight Pass and to further his career after winning a belt at another local promotion.
Excellent. Getting on CES Fight Pass, especially fighting Fabio. What an opportunity. I mean, early in his career. I mean, not that Fabio has a ton of fights, but Fabio's right on the cusp of getting back either in the Contender Series or call up for or a shot in the UFC.
Yeah, I think
Fabio had a tough test last at LFA, and he passed that with flying colors. So, go for it, Lars.
Yeah, I think the fight makes a lot of sense for Fabio. UG's legit opponent. He's undefeated. Still looks good on Fabio's resume. That fight for UG to take right now, I just don't understand it. He's I think the third-ranked middleweight in New England, up and coming. Why would you go up a weight class to fight a killer? I know he probably really wants to get active and fight, but it just seems like a really difficult matchup for this point in his career to take. I'm assuming it's on, it's on short notice. He's probably taking it to 5 because maybe he hasn't been at a walk-around weight he should be. That could be telling. But it's just it's a tall task for UG at this point in his career. It should be a good scrap, though.
Excellent. It sucks that we won't be there, but we'll be able to see it anyway. You know what I mean? Every fight on Fight Pass it looks like there's a ton of fights on this card now.
I see 8 fights on the card, but me and Lars were talking about this earlier today. You would have to think that they'd all be broadcast on Fight Pass, because other
Oh,
than that, who's watching them? If there's no one there to view them, are you just going to have the commission's word and maybe a video later on?
I'm stupid, yeah.
Right.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm back in January. Here's another thing about a lot of these fighters. I would say 99.9% of them, they're fighting for less than they would be in another event. These guys aren't fighting for the money, and women are not fighting for the money. They're fighting to stay busy and stake their claim in their spots in MMA.
Yeah, they're definitely taking a pay cut. And it's kind of the nature of the beast right now. CES can't sell tickets. That's probably 90% of their revenue when they put on a show. So that trickles down. And you're not going to find every fighter who's going to go out and take that pay cut to put their life on the line. But there's definitely guys who, will do that. And obviously we're seeing that. It's some people say it's, you're a fighter who cares about the money. But if you're a professional, you want to look at this from a business perspective and see if, this makes sense and it's worth it to you. But, every fighter's going to ask himself their own question and figure that out. But, they are taking a pay cut. But maybe the exposure from UFC Fight Pass gets them a look at the Contender Series quicker than they would have if they waited. So there's upside to it.
All right, so next week, since there is 99.9%, there is not going to be any media in the house. Do you guys want to do a fight companion like next Wednesday together on the card?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so cool. So we'll get that together.
Yeah, I should be able to do that.
Yeah, if not, Travis, you could just chime in after or whenever you can, jump in there. You know what I mean? So we got that. At least.
Yeah, I think I'm still on Wednesday.
Excellent. Some of these guys would fight. Yeah, a lot of these guys. You remember the reason why? You remember I put that poll up? Would you fight for free? And I just said a regional promotion, and it was because we kind of knew this was coming, and a lot of them fighters out there that are on this card said they would fight. They would fight for free. That one fight that could get them to the next level, and a lot of them are basically doing it, man, because that. If they're getting paid a third of what they regularly get, that money's going to their nutrition. It's going to their, privates. It's going to travel. It's going to their expenses. I'm sure they have to get a bunch of shit going as far as COVID. I'm sure CES is taking care of a lot, but I'm sure there's a lot of things they have to get in order a little more than regularly when they fight.
Yeah, on top of not being able to put fans in the stands, they gotta shell out all this money for COVID testing, and a lot of times they'll have to have them quarantine an extra day or two in a hotel, and that's not cheap. It becomes pretty expensive pretty quick. So I'm pumped that Birchfield and those guys could put this together and give us something locally to talk about, and we'll be covering it pretty extensively over the next week. So keep your eye out.
Definitely. I got a few interviews already booked this week. So I did the one with Nick Alley. Anyone else out there, you want to get a word with me? I am totally into it. Dudes and women, it literally takes 15 to 20 minutes to sit down and talk to me through Facebook Messenger. And it comes out pretty damn good, doesn't it, fellas?
Yeah. I think you just said you're into it, dudes and women. You want to go back and replay that?
Why? I don't even know. Reason why I said women because I am interviewing one female on the card, and I wanted to, give a shout out to at least there's one lady fight on the card. I don't know how to say these things. It's a delicate situation.
That's cool, man. No worries.
Excellent. I love it. So guys, anything else you want to talk about this card? Is there anything else you want to talk about as far as local MMA and this card? What happened?
I'd like to just another few fights if we haven't talked about them. We got Chris Mutino against Ashek Ajim. This is a tough fight right here. Mutino has climbed the ranks. He's fought for the bantamweight title at CES, and he's facing a killer in Ajim, 3-0. Show those dick pills.
Sir, hey, that's what kept me alive. That's what kept me alive last week.
Our sponsors, the Cannabio Group and Alphabolic. Absolutely, got to shout that out. So Chris Mutino against Ashek Ajim, big fight on the card. We mentioned Alexandra Ballou, and she is fighting Bridget Chase. She is out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We also saw earlier today, or just before we popped on, Tyler King versus Jemele Jones. It's a heavyweight fight. Jemele Jones lost on the Contender Series to Mike Rodriguez, and then he came in and lost to William Knight at CES. So he is fighting Tyler King. Tyler King is trying to get a win for the first time in a little while here. So taking on another guy who hasn't had great success against New England fighters. So Tyler will look to capitalize on that. Then we got Connor the Controller Matthews, one of our favorites from Cage Titans. He's looking to stay unbeaten against an American top team, Atlanta. Debut for CES is Josh Marr. He's from Atlanta, Georgia. He's 2-1. He's making a CES debut. Connor is also making a CES debut after his run in Cage Titans. Another opportunity to hit the next level with these guys here. And then there's one fight that we're not really sure. Eddie George was put on the first fight poster. I still have not confirmed for him yet. That looks like the entire fight card, so it looks like 8 fights. And a pretty good stacked lineup from CES. It's a cool way to put your flag in the ground as the first regional promotion to hold the show in New England after this all went down, to get a lot of your local prospects out there fighting some legit guys from legit gyms, and really spearheading the campaign to get New England MMA back.
Excellent.
You guys want to hear a fun fact?
Yes, a few of them if you got them.
Yes.
I was going through doing a little research on these fights beforehand, and Raposo versus Almy is interesting. I was looking at Almy in his track record, and after his fight against Raposo here next week, he will have fought 1 time each of the last 8 years.
Oh.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
They fight twice a year. So he's getting his quota now, and then he can fight again come January if he wants.
Yeah, he gets. But, I guess so.
Fun fact.
And he's been fighting. The dude has been fighting killers also. I mean, he fight. Yeah. His last 3 opponents are pretty damn great fighters, man.
Matsuda.
Yeah, he fought Matsuda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's a definitely fun fight for Mitch Raposo. Can't wait for that. Tyler King, I like that fight. I mean, it's nice to see that he got on the card. I know he was calling out. No one wanted to fight him. He was talking about everybody. He was out there, and he finally got a fight. I'm sure he put this one together himself because he's pretty good negotiator, trying to get himself fights. And good for him. I like to see that. What else on there? So guys, what do you plan on doing as far as promoting this card? As far as you media side, any write-ups? What are you thinking of doing?
I plan on doing I've already started my preview that I normally did when I was writing for Western Mass. I did it for Premier FC 30 for our site. Just a breakdown of each fight. I've already put a few hours into that today, breaking down this card. Literally, if I had Eddie George's opponent, I could probably sit down and knock out a few hours. But yeah, so I'm doing that. We're going to do the podcast that night, I guess, the Fight Companion. You would be welcome to anyone reaching out, want to get a word in with us, Lars or I or Steve. We've got some podcasts booked, of course, Steve does. But anyone wants any play for this card, let us know. We're wide open to it. We can write short articles. We can do video interviews. Can meet up for coffee, smoke a joint, whatever you guys want. Pretty wide open.
Definitely. I mean, our platform's growing, man. It's showing, too. I mean, our views and our interviews and write-ups are getting shared, and that's just from throwing it out there. Keep throwing the content out there, and people attach themselves. Not much going on in New England as far as media. Here's another thing I'm noticing about a lot of media that used to cover MMA around here. A lot of them getting better jobs, like they're going on to bigger and better things. Like I'm seeing a couple of local people here and there that were, grounded as New England MMA and reaching out a little further, but now are more focusing on the national level. So the door's open for NewEnglandMMA.org for us to kind of shine and really do exactly what we set forth to do here.
Yeah, it's about giving these guys a platform, and it's a passion of all of ours. So we enjoy doing it, and if we can combine our efforts to make a pretty cool product and get these guys seen, I'm not complaining.
Excellent. Guys, couple of things.
Yeah, I think
Go ahead, Lizotte.
I just want to say, I mean, we have like 80 to 100 original posts since we launched our website in April. That's 12 original posts and content during months that we were shut down from fighting. I think that we're showing a push. Steve's doing the podcast every week. We're rolling out as many original articles as we can. It's just, I mean, fans, if you like what you're seeing, just keep sharing the shit. Keep showing up. Keep clicking on the articles. Buy one of our T-shirts. Share one of our articles. Share one of our podcasts. We don't do this for our own good looks, and that's quite obvious. So, as you can see, Steve's got that guy with his big old beard. Lars has got his pictures of his kids behind him. Man, we don't do this for our own good looks. This is what we do. So just if people can bust it out and share some of this stuff, we'll let you see the more you're going to get, the more passion we'll put behind it. I mean, just share the stuff, visit the website, do what you can. I do want to say that we're pretty happy that Nick Alley showed us a bunch of support. He plans on wearing the T-shirts fight night, which is huge for us. He mentioned our name at Premier FC when he won his fight against Steven Sengel in the cage the first night we operated, and he's going to continue that tradition by bringing us in the cage with him at CES with his walkout shirt. So we're super stoked about that. Always happy to have him on board. Happy to see him active again. Happy to see Ed active, having his fighters active again. It's a good thing. This is a great feeling to think about. We've gone 7 months without a regional fight, and technically we're on fight week right now. This is essentially 1 week from the first regional fight in 7 months, and I might not show it, but I'm pretty excited about it.
Definitely. I mean, things are just starting to come. I mean, we're starting to get matchups still come out. You know what I mean? Things that were behind the scenes, they're starting to throw out there. So, I mean, I think in the next 2 or 3 days, we're really going to be, the excitement levels is going to really shoot out there as we get more material and we get to talk to some of these fighters about how they're feeling about these opportunities coming.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun week. I know that much. I'm going to throw a couple articles out there. I'm trying to get a sit down with Jimmy Birchfield Jr. to see how this all kind of got put together. So hopefully that will be coming out. But this is kind of what we did it for. I sent you guys a message earlier saying this is kind of our first real test since we launched in April. It's crazy to think about. We launched, like 3 weeks after COVID. And we've just been trying to trudge along right now and put things out there to have people, interested. Now we actually have a chance to give them some content on an actual regional promotion that's being held in New England. So it's cool, man. We're super excited about it.
The foot hasn't come off the pedal for us, boys, at all.
Mm-hmm. Damn right.
No, we've tried. I mean, whether we had to, sell our soul to the devil himself, we tried to come out with as much original content, as much breaking news, as soon as we hear stuff, we've been relaying it to our New England fans, and we just want to show them that we're here to stay. We are the media outlet in New England right now, MMA wise. Then we're not going anywhere. We're just getting started.
Excellent. Guys, that's about it for CES. Anything else you want to talk about? Any fighters? Anything as far as you guys? I know you guys got the management side going on. You want to just say anything quick about that? How excited about that's growing pretty quick for you guys too. I say you guys. I'm involved in it in some way, but not as in depth as you guys. I'm kind of more of the fighter relations guy. What am I? The VP of that? Is it Lars? What's my title?
Yeah, VP of Fighter Relations.
I'll take it, man. I'll take it. I am the guy. Let me get your logo. Let me get your logo up there. So, guys, this is something new that you started going on. We'll end the show kind of talking about your new business here and how well it's going for you. Let's talk about, what's going on with Full Contact Management and how far you've come in such a short time.
Yeah, it's kind of a new venture that we fell into, and it kind of started with Chris Sorrow and Ras Hilton, and it's kind of blossomed from there. We said if we're going to do this, we're going to do this. We're not just going to kind of dip our toe in the water. We're going to jump all in, and we've done that, and couldn't ask to a better start. We have 5 or 6 guys signed under contract right now. You saw Pat Casey and Ras Hilton on Bellator. We're working on getting these guys other fights. It's been, this whole COVID thing's been difficult because these guys want to get active, like Shane Manley and Jacob Vaughn, but there's just not many opportunities. So we've been kind of forced to reach out nationally and talk to some national promotions, which has probably been a blessing in disguise. We've probably done that, sooner than we normally would have. We have good contacts in the Northeast and New England when it comes to promotion, so it's kind of forced us to look elsewhere, and it's been great, man. We're ultimately doing this to try to help these guys. We feel like we have some pretty good knowledge between the 3 of us when it comes to looking at things from a business perspective, but also taking the emotion out of some of these decisions. It's tough for these fighters to say no sometimes when they should say no, and that's ultimately what you're paying manager for, to give you those honest opinions, but also to get you fights that you can win and work your way up. So by no means are we going to get rich or even get part-time income type of off of this. It's more of a labor of love. I enjoy doing it. I know you guys enjoy doing it. So it's fun when we're shit talking, going back and forth all day, kind of, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? We bounce a lot of ideas off each other. And usually we come out with a pretty rational, logical answer to some of these questions that a manager has to kind of answer for their fighters. So it's been awesome, man. I love it.
And a lot of the way we got in contact with these fighters and they got aboard were just by them asking us opinions about things and liking what we're doing. And they can see kind of what we can do for them on the media side of things with just promoting their fight and helping them out with them connections that you were talking about so importantly about, Travis, you started this off. I mean, you had Chris Sorrow, but we've launched into MMA and other things. What kind of fighters are you looking for to throw on this roster? I mean, it's just not anyone, man. We're looking for certain individuals.
Yeah, I'm looking for hard-working, honest fighters. Somebody who's going to keep open lines of communication. Somebody who's just going to be an honest, hard worker. Somebody that we can set goals with. Somebody that we can sell to these promotions. No, we want good quality people. I don't think the record matters as much as the fact that we want good quality people to represent. There's a slew of talent in the Northeast, and it's not to say we're picking and choosing just the best records and stuff like that. I mean, we just got guys we care about, guys who are really looking to put on to the next level. I mean, it's crazy to think. I wouldn't have thought when I signed on for Chris's manager a little over a year ago that in a year's time I'd be working with 5 or 6 guys, or making fights with the LFA or Bellator or things like that. But right now, we had 2 guys fight in Bellator. We set up the Ali Zebian fight with LFA last week. I've got Chris Sorrow in camp right now. He's fighting a heavyweight fight for BKFC middle of November, which could produce a title shot if he wins. This is, I mean, the biggest platform in the world. Bare knuckles, one of the fastest growing sports in the world. We saw it with MMA a couple of years ago. We waited for that bubble to pop. It never really did. Bare knuckles kind of showing us that in a small stage right now. BKFC's in its infancy. Yeah, Steve's got the toe the line shirt on. They're expanding into the other levels of promoting. I mean, we got some guys under us right now that are going to fight for a long period of time. Are going to shake up some divisions, going to shake up the world. Chris Sorrow is looking to shake up the world in a few weeks here. He's heavy into camp. He's been doing a lot of experiential stuff. He has gone to Puerto Rico, trained with Elvin Brito. He went to upstate New York to the Bare Knuckle Hall of Fame, really getting back to the roots of Bare Knuckle, and he wants to be an ambassador of the sport. He gets a chance to take one step closer in November here. Man, it's huge. This thing is going just as well as you could ask for. People need to reach out to us if you're asking management questions, thinking about getting a fight. Maybe we can do something for you. But right now we're really focusing on the guys that we have. I think it's pretty good that we've had 3 or 4 guys fight, or 3 or 4 fights lined up when most people aren't looking at any fights coming up. So that's an achievement in itself. Our guys busy.
And here's,
so yeah, we're super happy about it.
And Lars, here's another thing. I mean, it isn't only pro fighters. There are some amateur fighters that you have been speaking with about when they're I mean, not to mention any names, but when they're ready to make that next step, we will be there for them if needed, as far as give them some guidance and help them along. Correct?
Yeah, we've been talking to some guys that we feel have the potential to kind of get to that next level and succeed. No way are we looking to sign a contract with them in their amateur status, but it's, doing our due diligence. We are trying to connect the dots for a few of them and get them some fights, because obviously the amateur guys have been on the shelf since the beginning. So we've been in talk with Island Fights and maybe getting some guys to go down there. The difficult part is, a lot of times on those amateur shows, you got to pay for your own travel, which can be difficult. You're not making any money, obviously. So, yeah, we're trying to help with the amateur guys too. There's a lot of people looking to fight, and there's very few spots to fill. So it's difficult, especially when, if you want to fight, you typically got to get out of the Northeast to go fight, which adds a layer of complexity with COVID and travel and quarantine, et cetera. So it hasn't been easy, but we're figuring our way through it. I think we're all kind of learning a lot as we go. But I've been very happy with our success so far.
Excellent. I've been happy with everything going on. Lars, you've done wonders as far as bringing the bling and making us look like a professional operation here, man, because dude, it's the passion behind it. You know what I mean? We are always working, throwing things off each other, fighting on Messenger, calling each other lots of names, but
we don't take each other too seriously.
No.
And I think that's what makes it work for all of us.
So, big and better things coming for all of us now that MMA is starting to breathe again in New England, man. Anything else you guys want to say at the end? Oh, would you like to tell me? Would you like me to say my quick story of what happened last Monday, 2 Mondays ago?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Give us both.
I've been waiting the whole show for it.
All right. There's not many people. There's not many people on right now, so that's kind of why I'm happy about it. So, guys, I go to a local bar near my house that has been a part of my family for 43 years. My older brothers used to play, in bands there at this bar. It's a bowling alley bar. So on Monday nights, I go to a comedy club, open mic night there. And I was there a couple of Mondays ago. I left the gym. I went there to have 2 beers and have some food before I go home, which I live 2 blocks away. Well, when I was leaving, I started my car up. I was parked on the side of the bar. Not many people around, or no people around on the street there. There was some people in the back of the bar where, the benches are, but I was the only one on the street. In my car, started the car up. All of a sudden, I saw a couple of individuals walking across the street who had stole some of the open flags in front of the business that said, "Hey, come on, we're open." So they were walking down the street, waving them around. So I got out of my car. I said, put the flags back. Will you put the flags back? I walked up to the first guy. I yelled at him to put the flag back. It seemed like he got nervous. Okay, I'll put the flag back. He turned around to bring it back to the door of the bar. I was like maybe 20 yards from the door at that point, across the street. I took a left onto the overpass of 95 to talk to the next kid to tell him put the flag back. And before I knew it, lightning struck, and I was 30 feet below on the breakdown line in 95 after getting probably my ass kicked with the flagpoles, kicked in the head a few times, and then thrown over the overpass barrier where the fence wasn't, went down in the embankment 15 feet, then fell 2 more levels to the 95 breakdown lane. Got up, walked home, kicked in my window. Police and rescue on their way. The rest is history, and the rest is in the hands of other people to try to bring justice to Steve Domenico getting his ass kicked worse than he ever has in his life. Man, I've been in a head-on collision when I was a kid. Broke bones, fucked up. I didn't feel a thing. I swear to God, I didn't feel a thing, but I know my body went through more trauma than it has ever in its life, man. So, man, I am never going after anyone ever again. I don't care if you steal a fucking almond car. Good luck with it. It isn't my almond car, man. You can have it. So that's the lesson.
If they had a knife, you probably would have been all right.
Yeah.
You've been training.
Flagpole.
You don't train for flagpole.
Yeah, flagpole in the back of the head. I mean, I had some serious face fractures, which I do now. Man, I'm gorgeous. I cannot believe what I look like 9 days away back. You remember the picture I posted like 2 days after it happened? I look like I got fucking stung by the murder hornets. It was awesome.
So I thought it was one of those face apps, those like old face apps. I thought you were fucking with us.
Oh, well, Fabio Charant just came on. Fabio, just watch the rerun. I'm going to throw this on YouTube. We talk about you a lot, brother. Congratulations on your matchup, man. We were talking about how you would have fought for free, man. You wanted to get on this card. You want to get to the next level, and this is the way to do it, brother. Congratulations, Fabio. Man, let's talk. Let's talk, Fabio. I'm open Friday. Let's go. Call in. Let's have an interview. Unless Lars or Travis. Well, you did a write up on him. Let's do a live interview with Fabio now. Fabio, I'll reach out to you, brother. Definitely. So, guys, anything you want to say before I let you go and I go put my CBD ointment on?
Yeah, I just want to say we talked about Chris, and I'm going to do my job as a manager here. We got a couple more weeks until he fights. Could be the last chance to get in on the cheaper side of his sponsorship. We're looking for some sponsors. We got some 4 spots on the shorts. Big opportunity. Should be the same fight card as PVZ for BKFC. So if you or anyone that you know might be interested in getting on some fight shorts and sponsoring Chris Golden Glove Sorrow in his push for the heavyweight title, just get at me. You guys know how to get a hold of me. So get at me or Chris and get your name on the shorts.
Excellent. Anything from you there, Lars?
Just shout out to our sponsors, Cano Bio Group. Go check them out. I went on a 33-mile hike a couple weekends ago, the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, up in the White Mountains, and I've been sore since. But I've used this pretty much every night, and it's like a miracle. It's amazing how good it works. And then Alphabolics, obviously. This is some test reaper, testosterone booster. Check them out, alphabolics.com. Enter code FIGHTERS10 to get a 10% discount.
And they get a bunch. They get a bunch of everything. They get a bunch of pre-workout. They have vitamins. They got some really, really good stuff. They're sponsors of Chris, and they've jumped on board helping us with a bunch of fighters that we manage. So, dude, ball's rolling. I wanted to say one last thing. I forgot what I was going to say, but that's all right. Guys, thanks, man. Thanks for coming on. You'll be back here next Wednesday. We'll be doing a fight companion on CES 61. I will be talking to, it looks like, Fabio Charant very soon. This week sometime, I will be talking to Alexandra Ballou and Connor Matthews and Mitch Raposo. I have them scheduled. Fabio, awesome, man. I'll get in touch with you tomorrow, and we'll set something up for Friday, most definitely. Anything else, guys? We all done?
Good, man.
I just quickly want to wish Terrence Jean Jacques a good Bellator debut coming up. I don't know if we'll talk about that in a couple nights when we're talking about CES, but Terrence, congratulations on signing with Bellator.
Excellent, my man. I'll try to get it. That fight ain't this weekend, is it?
No, it's in November.
Oh my God, I got plenty of time to talk to him. All right, never mind. We'll have him on a podcast. Yeah, we'll have him on a podcast or something. All right, guys, I'm gonna get going. Don't hang up because I'm just gonna go to the intro music and get the hell off of here and go home. But with that said, hey, if they do catch these guys that beat the shit out of me, believe me, they will be memed for the next fucking generation, brother. They will be everywhere. There will be stuff going on everywhere. I wish there was video, dude. I just want to see what happened to me. I want to see how my body contorted, how I went down the hill. You know what I mean? Oh, fuck it, you know what I mean? All right, guys. I can say I could take a beating, man. I guess I could take a beating, man. All right, guys. Just remember that out there. You got to kill me. You got to kill me to get rid of me. All right, with that said, The Room Podcast, NewEnglandMMA.org, CES 61. We'll see you here next Wednesday in the CES 61 Fight Companion. We out!